And it's just, the mindset is we should grow all this into a sustainable way that, both treasures the data and the knowledge of the customer that we have, while at the same time accelerates the company and brings scale towards a more complicated and articulated digital journey. So with that, I'd leave you, and obviously I'm very open to questions and curiosities. Thank you.
Francesco. Any questions, Francesco?
Thank you.
On that heritage note, any questions at all? Yes, one, yes. If you could just let us know.
I was curious about how you define your customers, high hand and lower hands. Considering that your product is not that the people go and buy every day, okay, how you were able to identify the customers and categorize the customers as higher and lower, considering that they don't have many times interaction with your website?
Yeah, so the easy case, but as you said, is residual, is when we already know the customer because he's a registered customer, so we have the product history, and in that case, obviously, we combine it. But that's I would say, less than 20% of the cases. So in most cases, the customer is an anonymous one. So the only way we have to measure, to predict a customer value is by analyzing his behavior. For example, if we see that he's particularly interested in a series of products that for us are high margin, like for example the Ultrabooks or the 2-in-1s, and we see that he's spending a lot of time, the algorithm factorizes a lot of data points of how much time you spend on certain areas of the website, in which areas of the page you click. So all of this is factorized, and if we see that you tend to be more polarized towards the high-end products, we then assume you are going to be a high-value customer, and so we are a little bit more aggressive in the acquisition model, and vice versa, obviously, for low-value customers.
Another question? Yes.
Yeah, I just worked for a music company for many years and recently changed into an education company, so we've got to go through a journey again. But I wanted to support your point earlier about in industries where you saw early disruption from digital. In the music industry, we used that as an example. What we saw was that people that weren't able to embrace digital and what it brought to the business ended up in departments that were almost, let's call them heritage departments. And IT was one of those. Right? Digital marketing became the new part of the company. And eventually, I think we got a new CEO who realized that the company was splitting in two. You had a digital group which were increasingly taking over the business, and then you had another part of the company that were decreasingly influencing the business. And eventually, it got to the point where we integrated digital. We started calling anything digital, and actually, it was a new lease of life for IT because we've been more and more marginalised by that process. So it's a real word of warning, actually, to industries that are earlier in that process. That if you're not careful, you're going to be marginalised, and you're going to find that there's a new kid on the block who actually covers pretty much the rest of the business, and he needs to be reintegrated.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other questions? Oh, yeah. Take one here.
Cross-device is something that we've noticed last 12, 24 months. I'm just curious to know if Acer do anything about that in terms of acquiring cost. So as an example, we noticed that people start their journeys through desktop and then actually finish their journey on mobile. But we're incurring 2 charges for that. So the total cost of acquisition is actually sometimes outweighs the money we make back from it. How do Acer meet that challenge? Or do you do anything to not incur that Google charge from acquiring the customer?
It's a tough question. So it depends very much on the market. We are working on an attribution modeling that allows us to at least spot whether the same customer is doing similar activities on different devices, so that we can even a little bit the investment that we make on, for example, as you mentioned, the same person clicking on an ad on computer and then on the same ad on a smartphone. The problem is that for us, the end of the funnel happens mostly offline. So customers at the end of the day buy computers offline. And so we don't have basically the last mile of information whether or not the customer converted. on a massive scale. So the problem for us is that we can only work with proxy in some markets, for example, the UK, US, Germany, when customers end their journey online instead of offline and they buy from Amazon, for instance, we get some of the retailers to give us back the information about the sellout data. And so by combining first-party data to second-party data, we are able to define a clear attribution model that then allows us to say, to weight the different impacts of newsletter campaigns, paid media on display on PC, paid media on mobile, and so on and so forth. But it's very limited to just a few advanced markets, because then if you take the rest of the world, apart of these 3 markets, we don't have the sellout data. And so basically it's more a work of estimation and proxy. Yeah.
Thank you, Francesco.
Sorry, for one question. You mentioned that the head of so we are a digital business and head of digital. Your comment was interesting. Why would you have a head of digital in a digital business? Shouldn't that be the CEO? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the role of a digital head makes sense in a company that hasn't yet pivoted and has fully embraced digital. But once the company is truly digital and has changed its own business model with new digital revenue streams, everybody, starting from the product business unit, which in our case is really the pivotal element of the company, will be 100% digital. The problem is that this takes a lot of time, and obviously this goes up to the top, to the CEO. This takes a lot of time because competencies are not built overnight, and the pace, and it's even difficult for us that we do only digital to cope with the velocity and speed of new things coming up, as I showed in that slide with all that logos. And so it's very difficult when we do a lot of internal training, workshops with a lot of different business functions, and they really see that it's very difficult, to bring everybody aboard and on board with the same speed. So I totally agree with you. We are coping with, education and training, but we see that the 2 speeds are very, very different. Yeah.
Thank you, Francesco. We're just running out of time. So,
Thank you.
do you want